දේශකවරුන් පසු වෙන්නේ. ඒ විශ්වාසය ඔබට පුළුවන් අනාගතයේදී මේ ප්‍රාර්ථනීය වෙනස ඔබ තුළ ඇති කරමින් සමාජය තුළ ඒ වෙනස නිර්මාණය කරන්නට පුරෝගාමී නායකත්වයක් දරන්න තරුණ ඔබට හැකියාව ලැබේවායි අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. එමනම් අපි සූදානම් වෙන්නේ අද මේ තරුණයට අතිශයින්ම සුවිශේෂී දවසක මේ කාල වේලාව වෙන් කරමින් ඔබට සුබ පතන්නට එකතු වෙන අපේ අද දවසේ ප්‍රධාන ආරාධිත අමුත්‍ය වෙතට ආරාධනා කරන්නට ඉතාම ගෞරවණීය අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ නෙදර්ලන්ත තානාපතිනි බොනි හෝබැක් මැතිණියට අපිව ආමන්ත්‍රණය කරන්නට.
Right. So next we have, as I mentioned before, we have another important address by the chief guest, Her Excellency Bonnie Hobart. She is the ambassador of the Kingdom of Netherlands and Sri Lanka and Maldives to Sri Lanka and Maldives, and a newly appointed ambassador for Sri Lanka and Maldives. So first we would like to congratulate of the appointment to the ambassador to Sri Lanka and Maldives. And she has, I think, madam has done many social important work, including calling for an end to gender-based violence. Is one of the most important projects. And madam has done extended support to this particular concept. So with that, I would like to invite the chief guest this evening, Her Excellency Bonnie Hobart, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Netherlands to Sri Lanka and Maldives, to address the audience.
Thank you very much for this nice introduction. Executive Director of PAFRA, Commissioner General of the Election Secretary, and Professor of the University of Colombo. Thank you so much for your inspiring speech. I am very glad to be here today, and it says that I am the chief guest, but actually you are the chief guest of this meeting. Still, I think I'm proud that we as the Netherlands Embassy have been able to support two key components of this program, namely the Democratic Youth Academy and the social media competition. Sri Lanka is at a crossroads, particularly in the recovery efforts coming out of the economic and financial crisis. Most Sri Lankans are talking about the upcoming elections, and I can tell you that the international community is watching with great interest. Barely 2 years ago, when I started my posting in Sri Lanka, the country was in a very different position. In an unprecedented manner in Sri Lankan history, and maybe even in the history of the world, the public demanded accountability, more transparency, and more responsible governance. Moreover, the campaign also demanded structural changes, popularly called system change, foster unity between and across different sections of society, and more importantly, an increased role of the youth in decision making. It appears that the trust between the governments and the people was broken. It is this trust that forms the social contracts. And if the social contract is broken, it jeopardizes the democratic values this country is based on. The people are disappointed in the actions and inactions of the governments. They expect more of their rulers. It is for this reason there is a strong sentiment that this country requires a new generation of professional, forward-looking, and future-orientated leaders. You. In the meantime, we are also looking at a new society, a new environment, and a different time of interactions and communications, different than any other generations before us. Today, governments and leaders are pressured to take immediate action and to have quick fixes and respond in real time, because of the conversations that are taking place in social media. Today we interact with each other on countless platforms, such as Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube. But do we really know what the information is that we are receiving? Do we understand in which bubble we are trapped? We get information that we like and are not challenged to broaden our opinions and views beyond what we want to hear and what we want to see. We read, listen and see content on social media to react rather than to understand and look further than the next tweet or TikTok reel. All over the world, even in mature democracies like my own, strong international structures and systems are struggling and challenged by the social media and how it divides the people within their different bubbles. Artificial intelligence will pose an even bigger threat to real truth-seeking and might be the game changer and the biggest challenge of the future. Countries like Sri Lanka are even more at risk because of lack of mature rule of law, governance and governance of the social media space might be threatened by personal influences and ad hoc decisions and even arbitrary actions. This might again put a pressure on the social contract between the government and the people. 2 years ago, you have witnessed the ultimate result when a social contract was broken. Although a social uprising is not without risk, it gives birth to new ideas, new sentiments, and a broader reflection of what the public wants and what they want for the future. In this context, Pavel's idea to support future change makers, leaders, and catalysts has been instrumental to push forward these ideas of the movement that started 2 years ago. Nurturing young and capable leaders to take the country forward and to navigate the country through future challenges is not an easy task. I heard that when Pavel called for applications of participants for the Democratic Youth Academy, that it did not receive many responses. That is understandable, because especially for young people, this is a great task to take on. But it's also the very reason that we require a program like the Democratic Youth Academy to take fruition. We need young leaders like yourselves to address the challenges that we face. The way the group was selected is unique, ensuring gender balance, making geographical representation, but also minority groups like the LGBTI community and differently skilled people were involved. There is one school of thought that good leaders cannot be made, that good leadership is a born talent. Others believe that good leaders can be groomed and molded with the right approach and right guidance. Both ideas are true. I think Pavel has done a perfectly good job in finding young people like yourselves with a born talent, but also allowing them to be in a program that will shape and sharpen their skills with quality of knowledge and providing the necessary exposure and training to be the future leaders of your beautiful country. Getting a professional training and skill development and exposure to different players and power structures, receiving a certificate for completing the course does not alone make you a good leader or a change maker. It is the consistency, the continued commitment and an unwavering strive for achievements that will make you an effective change maker. It takes hard work, dedication, and vision. Sri Lanka is blessed, a blessed country in the region with a high-quality human capital, and a country that never compromised anything shorter than democracy in their modern history. Because Sri Lanka is the oldest democracy in Asia, a great record that no one can claim or beat, you, the future generation, have an enormous task to protect and strengthen the democratic institutions and foundations. Youth participation in active politics is critical. We've seen that in the Netherlands as well in November. And there is a growing demand across many countries that the youth should come forward, not just as voters, but actively engage and shaping the political landscape to lead the constituencies, states and countries. Because the future belongs to the young generation, and their future should not be defined by older generations, who may not be likely to experience the consequences of the electoral choices they make today in a decade or two. So from every aspect, a project like this is very important. It is laying the foundation for the ideal leaders our society needs and wants to see in years to come. We are proud as an embassy that you are willing to make this impact for your country and for the world. I applaud you and respect you and will be following your footsteps as you mold the future with your political excellence and leadership. I know implementations of projects like this is not easy, so I also would like to thank Pavel for what they have done with the participants and with the Democratic Youth Academy. Last but not least, I would like to thank you all who are present here. We need leaders like you to build a future for our children and grandchildren. Thank you.